Hello there, and welcome to this week's edition of Crazy Critique. The film that I saw this week was the rather small film Terminator Genisys. Yeah, it's quite small, isn't it? Features a lowly actor called Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. And because it features Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I've decided this week to make this a special, not uncommon, but the reason why I'm making this a special this week is purely in recognition of Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger. So my classic film will be a film of his also. But we'll deal first with Terminator Genisys. So, yes, I think you might get a sort of a tone from me there, what is to come. And what shall we start off with? We'll start. It's so hard to describe the timeline plots of this film. Effectively, what is going on in this film is history is being rewritten. So, anything that you have seen regarding the previous films, according to this new film, is now in one way or another, going to be irrelevant. In some ways, that is insulting. Or in another way, you can understand why they want to just have a clean slate with things. But there's got to be a way of doing it, and there's got to be a charm, offensive, in the way that it's done. And in my opinion, it is not done at all well. You are just left muddled. You are really left muddled. And if it was done with a bit more skill and a bit more flair and a bit more quality, more than anything, a bit more quality, you may accept it, be more accepting to its new ideas and so on, so forth. But the problem is, it's other aspects of the film are not helping it in any way. I will, first of all, though, before I go into more of my criticisms of the film, is I will talk about the positives. Because I'm not all about bad things. There is always something good to point out with films. And the good things in the film is, you've got to go straight to Schwarzenegger, to be honest. And the reason why is because he is head and shoulders above anybody else in the film. In terms of his gravitas, in terms of his performance, in terms of just being effective on screen is probably the best way of putting it. And even at his age now, the fact that he is the one who's having to do this pretty much all by himself is another problem with the film. As I was saying, I'm going to talk about the positives here. But yeah, Schwarzenegger is absolutely wonderful to watch, and many of the best humorous moments are from him. So he gets most of the best dialogue. He gets some nice references back to some of his characters in the old films. He's absolutely fabulous and fantastic in this film. And one of the other positives I found was that right at the beginning of the film, there's a sequence where effectively the now Schwarzenegger, the more elderly Schwarzenegger, has gone back in time to that very night from the first film where his first Terminator came into the past. And what is done in this scene is that you have two Schwarzeneggers. So you have the now Schwarzenegger and you have the classic Schwarzenegger. And you'd think, upon watching it, it might be a bit gimmicky. It might be a bit, oh, that doesn't look very good. But I must say, the effects for this young Schwarzenegger and to recreate that scene from the first film is ridiculously well done. Pretty much shot for shot, the look of the young classic Schwarzenegger is brilliantly done. And like I've said to people, is unless you're looking absolutely ridiculously close and are looking for it, you are not going to be able to tell that has had some major CGI to it. But it's done extremely well. It's absolutely fantastic effects, it is. But yeah, there we go. That's a very good positive for the film. I must go on to the negatives, unfortunately. And like I've already said about the plot, it's very, very muddled. I won't say more than that because I went on a little bit about that before. Let's talk about the other players in the film. So in the film, we have Emilia Clarke, who's playing Sarah Connor. And we also have Jason Clarke playing the John Connor in the future. And they're fine. They are fine, and that is pretty much all you can say about them, because mainly in John Connor's case, his character's case, because of what transpires in the film, he's not given a lot to do, Jason Clarke. He looks the part in the future. There's a bit where he ends up in the past. I won't say what happens in the past, but you probably know anyway, because it's probably been spoiled in the trailer, which was flipping annoying, because you'll never know if that was going to be a fantastic reveal or not. But yeah, he's fine, Jason Clarke, with what he's given, really. And Emilia Clarke, once again, is feisty, and she does a decent enough job, but she's always going to be in the shadow, unfortunately, of Linda Hamilton. It's such a hard act to follow. But yeah. So, who else do we have in the film? I must raise a point regarding the overuse, really, of numerous Terminators. There's throughout this 2-hour film, you have 3 adversaries and 3 types of Terminator, and it's just absolute overload, really. It's very scattergun. It's like, here's our first Terminator. Now here's our second Terminator. Now here's our third Terminator, even bigger and better than the previous Terminator. It's just like scale. It's just classic. It's known as classic sequel syndrome. We've got to get bigger, better, and better. But yeah. So it's not winning any prizes there. What was quite bizarre, I must say, was one of the opening scenes where you're in the future with John Connor and Kyle Reese. There's a major scene where they're trying to take down a Skynet base to get to where this time machine is. And it's weird because the battle is I'm just exasperated with it, because I felt watching, I thought, this is extremely computer gamey. He just didn't feel like anything was there. And it can be done these days. You can be in the midst of action and feel like it's real, and if it's done skillfully. It just wasn't done skillfully at all in any way, shape or form. And yeah, so there's a lack of feeling that you're in the action, because you know there's no danger of these characters whatsoever. It doesn't feel dangerous. And let's go into the director, Alan Taylor. No, actually, no, before I go into Alan Taylor, I'll go into, is it Jay Courtney? Jay Courtney, who plays Kyle Reese. I said before the film, I think this character has been completely miscast by hiring Jay Courtney. And personally, I think I was proved right. I mean, just look at you. Just look at you. Just look at your Kyle Reeses from the previous films. Look at Michael Biehn. Look at Anton Yelchin. Anton Yelchin was one of the few, very few positives that came out of Salvation. Jay Courtney is not Kyle Reese. He is not Kyle Reese. Sorry, I'm not having it at all in any way. So, now I've had my little rant on that. Let's go into Alan Taylor, the director. Now, Alan Taylor, of course, directed For the Dark World. And he came into that film not incredibly late, but after a lot of work had been done on it already. And there was obviously, I think For the Dark World is one of the weaker films in the Marvel universe of films. I still enjoyed it, I still like it, but I thought there was major problems with it, which Alan Taylor has sort of disowned in a way, because obviously he came onto a project quite late. And one thing I brought up about For the Dark World was the editing. It just felt really weird watching it. It just didn't seem edited right. And alright, fair enough, anything pre-done, but editing is done post-production. So, and I feel that trend has continued, because you can't just purely blame the editor, because a director usually likes to have an input. And I just don't think it's clearly working with him. It just feels like it's just not. It doesn't feel right still at all in any way. Yeah. So I'm still really waiting to see Alan Taylor make a really good big film. I mean, a really good big film. 4 was decent. Nothing more, really. It's really carried by the performances of particular characters in the film. So, yeah, I'm still waiting to be proved thinking on Alan Taylor. So, what should we... What more can I say, really? Matt Smith, one of the best Doctor Who's, completely wasted. Absolutely wasted. What happens with his character in the film may lead to, in future films, him having a bigger role, if you will. If that's what he signed up for, fair enough. But if this turns out to be a false dawn in terms of the franchise relaunch, it's an absolute waste of time for Matt Smith, to be honest, because his character had nothing to do. Yeah. So, also another thing, the music of the Terminator franchise is some of the best music you've ever heard for sci-fi. It's one of the some of the best sci-fi music ever, and it just is not used in any way. I mean, other than the opening title sequences that I remember it being in, it's just a notice of a lack of use and effect of it. And why wouldn't you use that music? What's the point of not using it? I don't get it. Yeah. I'm just really frustrated with this film because other than the return of Schwarzenegger, it's just really turned into a bit of a mess. It's just a bit of a mess, and you will tolerate other aspects of some of these aspects of the film because of Schwarzenegger, because you enjoy him on screen. I enjoyed him on screen. He's very good. He's very entertaining, but as a film, it's just a complete mess. It's a complete mess. I'm gonna stop now because I'll just get annoyed with myself. So yeah, there we go. That was Terminator Genisys. Yeah, it was yeah, there we are. So my classic film of this Schwarzenegger special is the absolute classic in my eyes, is Total Recall from 1990. Now, this is directed, of course, by Paul Verhoeven, who previously directed the film RoboCop, and after this directed Basic Instinct and Starship Troopers. All films I extremely enjoy, mainly because they're films for an adult audience, for a start, and in particular, obviously, with Total Recall here, it's a sci-fi film for adults. The amount of violence, of course, is on show. The amount of ridiculous violence is on show. There's quite a lot of hints at sexuality and nudity and things like that. So it's just got a completely different tone to other films in the sci-fi genre, which I think is fabulous. It just makes it stand out a mile. The effects, I think, are fabulous by... It was Rob Bottin, I think it was, wasn't it? I think it was Rob Bottin. Fabulous work on the effects with the mutants and so on and so forth. And, it's just the bit, yeah. I should really describe the plot of the film, I suppose, really. Oh, come on, we all know Total Recall. I won't go into it. I just think it's fabulous. Schwarzenegger in this film is just absolute joy. Again, he gets absolute killer lines. It's just purely on his absolute persona. It's fantastic. Sharon Stone is an absolute dream as his sort of killer wife. And Michael Einstein makes a good baddie, fabulous baddie. Ronnie Cox also has one of the best lines I've ever heard a villain say. So it's along the lines of, he starts doing some sort of villain spiel about, and then finally, we'll be back in time for cornflakes. Ridiculously stupid, brilliant line. And I just absolutely love the film. The music's fabulous by Jerry Goldsmith. Great opening title sequences. Sort of that. It's one of the old style, obviously, of course, where they have all the names of the actors and it's all like dripping red. Like, it's really, really well done. Like I say, the effects are great. I love the performances. Yes, they are over the top, without a doubt. They are so over the top. But the over the top nature of the film is what makes it. And yes, it's easy to laugh at certain moments in the film, but you're laughing with it more than at it, which is very important, obviously, for this type of film. the general plot, I'll just do a quick synopsis of the film, is that Arnold Schwarzenegger is on Earth. He has always longed to go to Mars. He doesn't know why, so he goes to this place called Recall, which can implant effectively a holiday in his brain, so he can enjoy the experience of being on Mars without actually going there. Problem is, during this procedure, things go wrong. Suddenly, he thinks he's one of the things that is presented to him, that he could be a spy or a playboy or something like that. And he goes, "I'd like to be a spy." During the procedure, things go wrong. He starts having a seizure, and he thinks he is actually living out this thing, and it seems to appear. It seems to have unlocked things in his brain about Mars, and apparently he may have been to Mars already, and for mysterious reasons, it's all about. So he ends up going to Mars, and it's all about what goes on there. And it's that's a terrible synopsis, but it's absolutely fantastic. The film, I can't praise the film enough, because in this current age as well of particularly sci-fi and fantasy films being of in America it's PG-13, isn't it? But here it's 12A in the UK. There seems to be a lack of, what's the word? Edge. It's edge, isn't it, about these films, because they're still trying to cater to an adult audience, and this film provides it. All Paul Verhoeven's films, look at RoboCop, fantastically bloody violence, and something like Starship Troopers as well, which is some of the satire there is just brilliant. Paul Verhoeven, absolutely fantastic director. Just off the bat, yeah, fantastic. Total Recall is fantastic. Schwarzenegger in it is just unforgettable. You will never forget his performance in this film. Of course, it's based on a Philip K. Dick short story called "We Can Remember It for You Wholesale." But as far as I'm aware, it doesn't hold an awful lot of relevance to the book. It takes aspects, but not many. But yeah, Total Recall, absolutely fantastically enjoyable film. Watch this film, you will never regret it ever, any day. So yeah, you have completely disparate films there. The brilliant classic Total Recall from 1990. We will never talk about the remake 22 years later. Why they remade it, I have no idea. And the rather disappointing and exasperating Terminator Genisys. So yeah, that was a Arnold Schwarzenegger special. So yeah, I thank you for watching if you have. I hope you do subscribe to me, and I do hope to see and speak to you again. Thank you again for watching, and goodbye.